Chapter 1. The Emperor Who Looked Inward. They called him Emperor, but in the silence of his chambers he was simply a man searching for peace in a world that offered none. Marcus Aurelius ruled millions, yet he ruled himself most of all. He understood that power means nothing if the soul remains enslaved. Every night he wrote to himself, not to command legions, but to command thought. His private journal was not a record of conquest, but of control.
In those fragile pages, Marcus discovered the truth. The enemy is never the world, it is the chaos within. And so he turned inward. Where empires fall, the mind can still stand. Where fortune shifts, virtue remains. True mastery is not of men, but of the self. We begin here, with a ruler who chose to conquer his own mind before he conquered the world. Chapter 2. The Dichotomy of Control. There are two worlds we live in, one that obeys our will, and one that never will.
The Stoics called it the Dichotomy of Control, a sacred division between what we can command and what we must accept. You cannot control the weather, but you can control your response to the storm. You cannot control the cruelty of others, but you can control whether it poisons your heart. Freedom begins the moment you stop demanding that life obey you. When you release control over the uncontrollable, you rediscover your strength. Marcus wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That single sentence contains the architecture of peace. For every frustration you face, there is only one question. Is this mine to control? If not, let it go. Not in defeat, but in liberation. Chapter 3. Power without peace. Power intoxicates the unprepared mind. But to Marcus, power was not a crown, it was a burden. He commanded armies, he spoke, and nations trembled. And yet within him, a quiet war raged. What is the worth of ruling others if you cannot rule yourself? The Stoic does not seek to escape responsibility. He seeks to bear it with grace, to lead without pride, to act without vanity, to endure without bitterness. The greatest danger of power is not corruption of the world, but corrosion of the soul. Marcus faced both, and in that battle, he discovered that the true empire lies within one's reason. Every command, every law, every act of justice, it all begins in the stillness of the mind. Power without peace is emptiness. Peace without power is potential. But when the two unite, that is wisdom. Chapter 4. The Inner Citadel. Inside every person lies a fortress, not of stone but of spirit. The Stoics called it the Inner Citadel, a stronghold untouched by circumstance, where no insult, no disaster, no loss can enter. When the world collapses, this fortress stands. When others betray you, this fortress shelters you. The walls are built not of denial but of discipline. Each conscious choice adds a brick. Each moment of restraint strengthens its gates. Marcus found refuge here, not from the world, but from himself. He realized that pain is not always in the event but in our judgment of it. To master perception is to defend the citadel. To govern reaction is to remain free, even in chains. The Stoic does not escape reality. He fortifies the mind until reality can no longer break it. Chapter 5. The View from Above. Imagine looking down on your life from a great height, from the roof of your home, the city, the clouds, then higher, beyond the earth itself. From there, everything you once called enormous becomes small. The arguments, the ambitions, the pain, they fade into perspective. The Stoics called this the view from above, a meditation to shrink the ego and dissolve self-importance. Marcus would remind himself that he was just a speck in the vast unfolding of nature, not to belittle himself but to belong to something larger. When you rise high enough, even suffering becomes harmonious. You see how chaos and order are partners in creation. You see how every loss gives shape to gratitude. From above, we stop clinging. We stop fighting the river and start flowing with it. Perspective is peace. Chapter 6. Amor. Fati. Love your fate. What if you could love everything that happens to you, not just endure it but embrace it? The Stoics called this Amor Fati, love of fate. To love fate is to accept every event as necessary, every heartbreak, every failure, every delay, all of it serving your becoming. Marcus understood this deeply. He wrote that even misfortune can be transformed into virtue if received correctly. The wise do not ask, "Why did this happen to me?" They ask, "How can this serve me?" When you stop resisting life, life stops resisting you. Acceptance is not surrender, it is power, disguised as peace. To love your fate is to say, everything that has happened was meant to forge me, not to finish me. Chapter 7. The obstacle is the way. Every obstacle conceals an opportunity. Every difficulty hides a direction. Marcus taught that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. When the path is blocked, the soul must find a new road. When the plan fails, the will adapts. The Stoic turns trial into training. Every wound becomes instruction. Every hardship becomes material for growth. Fire grows stronger when fed resistance. So does the soul. The obstacle is not the end of the path. It is the path. Chapter 8. Stoicism in the modern world. We live in an age of noise, notifications, opinions, expectations, a storm of distraction that pulls us away from ourselves. But the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius survives precisely because it transcends time. The Stoic tools of reflection, detachment, and self-command are not relics. They are weapons against modern chaos. When you feel overwhelmed, remember, the Stoics lived amid plagues, wars, betrayal. They too faced uncertainty. Their answer was not escape, but endurance. To breathe before reacting. To observe before judging. To think before speaking. The same principles apply now. You are not at the mercy of the digital world. You are still the master of your inner one. Chapter 9. The Stoic challenge Marcus once asked, "What can I control, and what must I release?" This is the essence of the Stoic challenge, to separate truth from illusion, to meet every moment with calm understanding. You cannot stop the storm, but you can learn to stand in it. You cannot dictate fate, but you can choose your response. The challenge is not to be unfeeling. It is to feel deeply and still remain composed. When insulted, stay silent. When tested, stay patient. When broken, rebuild. The Stoic path is not for the faint of heart, but for those who dare to be still in a restless world. Chapter 10. The Unconquerable Mind. The world will always be chaotic. Events will always unfold beyond your control. But your mind is your kingdom. It cannot be invaded without your permission. It cannot be destroyed without your surrender. Within it lies the power to interpret, to endure, to create meaning. This is where freedom lives. Marcus Aurelius knew this truth. You may lose wealth, status, love, even health. But if your reason remains steady, you remain undefeated. The body bends, the empire falls, but the mind can remain unconquered. This is the Stoic inheritance. This is your citadel. Guard it well.